So we've got another interview in our FM Expert series. It's great to have Jeff Dewing with us today to share his expertise. Jeff is the Group CEO and co-founder of Cloud FM, and is going to be sharing some tips on leadership and culture in FM. So Jeff, over to you.
Thank you very much, Beth. I guess one of the things that I've always driven sort of in our world, so that culture is the number one focus that any business that's serious needs to be focused on. You need to bring your people on the journey. Culture eats strategy for breakfast is a famous saying that goes around. And I guess for me, one of the things that we had to get right from the very beginning was that foundation of how do we genuinely empower people? How do you genuinely create an environment where there is no fear of failure? There is only, the success of learning. And I think to give people that true freedom to ensure that they never come to work through fear of getting a telling off or a dressing down in any form of environment, making people feel safe, you get the best out of people. And I don't care whether they're a help desk operator or they're a board director or anyone in between, people are people. The other thing I've also learned during my career, which is one of the things that was the foundation of Cloud FM, is just to recognize and realize that every single human being becomes their best self when they control their destiny. If they are being influenced on their destiny, they're being influenced in a direction that they actually don't believe in and don't feel comfortable doing, you will never get the best out of them. You'll only get half of them come to work, which is obviously a waste of everybody's time. So you just need to let people be their creative self.
Give us some examples of how you've done that.
So if you have a meeting, for argument's sake, a group meeting, a brainstorming session, whatever it might be, 6, 8, 10 people, there has to be a chair, and the chair, whoever that person is, the leader, that leader is never allowed to give an answer. They can only ask questions. And you take people on a journey, and all you're doing is you get people to find out their own solutions by asking the right questions. And you have to ask open questions because closed questions are pointless. So ask an open question, get them to think, make their brains do the work. That exercises them, it makes them feel good, and it makes them feel like they're making a difference. And you'll be surprised that some of the people, I've had engineers into a board meeting as part of one of our strategies where we brought engineers in for a week with a CEO. And we brought these engineers into a board meeting. And of course, the board are going, oh, this is going to be fun. And I'll tell you what, some of the things those guys come out with knocked us for 6.
I love
because you just don't realise how much people have got to offer until they feel comfortable having a voice. I think that is and even if you take 2 or 3 or 4 nuggets out of a 2-hour conversation, it's worth it. The key is giving people a voice.
Love that one. Thank you for that one. Brilliant. What else have you got for us?
I think one of the biggest strengths that we have created is this thing that says, how do you run a business that's not inward facing? Everybody's looking inwards for permission to do stuff. Everyone's looking inwards for guidance. They are therefore not looking outwards, which is where the client sits. How do you get people 100% focused on looking outwards? And I guess the only way that you can do that is through culture. And again, the culture comes right to the heart of it. To get people looking outwards, they've all got to be accountable for the same outcome. If you have 5 departments and you have a department head that says, well, as long as my department's doing its job, then we're okay. The answer in our world is no, you're not okay. Because until the final outcome is achieved by the business, we're all accountable. So what that does is it creates an environment that says everybody is desperate to help each other to get to that outcome. Because if we don't, everybody's failed. So how do we get everybody working in the same direction and not look inward, only look outward? And that comes back to creating a forward-thinking culture rather than a look-backward culture. Who got it wrong? Who cares who got it wrong? The reality is we collectively didn't get it wrong because we solved each other's problems along the way because we cared about it. And I think when you have the more corporate cultures in the world, which we've all seen and experienced at some point of our career, life's all about who we're going to hang.
Well, and you're right, because so often people are just in silos, aren't they? And what you're saying is it's a team outcome rather than silos. Okay,
it's all very well and good people saying there's no I in team. It's a statement we all make. And it's like we always say there's no such thing as a free lunch. And then the next morning we go, where's our free lunch? We're not listening to ourselves. So when you say we need to be a team, well, great, but you can't be a team unless you create a culture that facilitates a team behavior. And that team understands and gets the enjoyment. And one of the things of that success, and one of the things we say a lot in our business, we do lots of sort of keynotes and stuff. And one of the things we say is that, no soldier ever goes to war for God and country. They go to war for the man or the person on their left and the person on their right. That's why they go to war. When you run a business that's successful, everybody is successful because they're looking after each other. It's not about, I'm going there because I've got a great salary. It's not because I work in a great big building. It's not because I've got a lovely car. They're going there because of the people they're interacting with. And if you create that right environment, that right culture, it really does eat strategy for breakfast.
Like it. Fantastic. Any last golden nuggets to share, or are we finished with this conversation?
I guess the big problem we've got is I could go on for hours. So,
well, what I want to ask you, and like you say, I'm conscious of time, but what I want to ask you is, how do we do this stuff? So we might have to have a second session to understand how. But I think you've given us some brilliant food for thought. Really good food for thought. And I think a lot of people say this stuff, but it sounds like you guys are achieving it. So we may have to come and pick your brains again.
It is all about, and again, it sounds a bit cliche because we're all listening to it recently, but it is about genuine purpose. It's not about chasing the buck, whether that be a salary or whether it be trying to win clients, and then whether it be EBITDA to make you look good. It's not about anyone chasing the buck is going down a dead end road. It's about purpose. Why are you even here? And that's the bit that you have to establish. And the second piece is the people that come with you have to believe the same thing. If they don't genuinely believe it, then you're all just kidding yourselves.
Yeah. Now, listen, before I let you go, just talk to us about your free, you call them white papers. I think they're more guides. I've seen, I think, at least 4 on your website. The one that I like the best is the 9 questions.
Yeah.
So 9 questions FM and property professionals don't want you to ask. People need to look at that because it's got some great stuff in there. But you've also got one on CAFM and the DNA of change and doing the right thing. So where do people need to go to get those, Jeff?
So they're all on our website under a section called resources. And again, we don't ask you to give us your email or any of that nonsense. If you're interested in it, you can go and download it and read it. It's stuff that's been written from the heart. It's stuff that we believe. It's stuff that we've demonstrated, we've evidenced. And it's very, very disruptive. But it's all harnessed with one big umbrella, and that is just do the right thing.
That sounds like a perfect point to stop, doesn't it? So I shall say for now, thank you very much, Jeff Dewing. Thank you.
You're welcome.